What's up, everybody? This is Josh Wilson from SceneTeam.org here on the Gamerview podcast. We got my co-host Chase Guidry here today with me, and special guest Blake Guidry. He is a former Halo champion, I guess you could say. He's played it at least. We're here to talk about Battlefield 3 today.
I'm Chase right here. Blake, introduce yourself.
I'm Blake. I'm Blake Guidry.
I'm the BF3 Beta. I mean, what do you think about it, Josh?
It's big. It does not look or play like Call of Duty, which has me excited. I went in there trying to play it like Call of Duty, and I got killed so many times. So it's definitely different, but I think in a good direction type different.
How important do you think this Battlefield game is to the gaming industry overall?
Overall, like to the whole industry, kind of important, kind of not important, because I mean it's definitely going to bring in revenue, maybe some attention. But I think the industry is doing fine without it. But it'll probably, maybe, hopefully set the bar a little higher for a future development of first-person shooters and multiplayer games in general, I guess.
What do you think, Blake?
I think it's definitely broken a lot of laws that a lot of games has put out, because I mean just the mechanics of the game. I mean you can actually, I mean it doesn't go back to Call of Duty's camping, you know what I'm saying? Like you can actually sneak around in the bushes, hide behind anything, and not be exposed at all.
Yeah, it's more about tactics.
Yeah,
it plays very tactical of how Rainbow Six, well, not the Vegas's titles, but the Black Arrow and Rainbow Six 3 titles, and Rogue Spear and Raven Shield, those titles. It plays very tactical like those.
Yeah, it brings back flanks also.
Yeah, also there's more strategies involved with flanking and whatnot whenever you're in warfare. The deal about the game is, in my opinion, I really think this game's going to mean a whole lot to the industry, and to not only the industry, to first-person war games, because first-person shooter war games, because I mean, in my opinion, it is setting a standard. If you look at the graphics and just what the game has to offer, it's not like any other Battlefield. Although the beta right now, I mean, only on PC you can play with the vehicles. So the people that are on console haven't had the luxury to, you know, absorb what it's like on that game with the vehicles. But if you take into consideration just of what the game has to offer, I mean, it has a more tactical gameplay where you have to think about what you're doing. You can't run around like a chicken with your head cut off like you did in Call of Duty. I mean,
Halo.
Yeah, and in Halo, and just, I mean, yeah, there's strategies involved in those games. I'm not denying that.
You can just run out and just own everybody.
But I believe this game, I mean, if you look at the aerial combat on the multiplayer trailer, I mean, like on this video right here on this link, if you look at the aerial combat, I mean, the jets and the helis are just going to be, it's just going to be something like no other. I mean, you can't compare that to any other game. It's going to set a standard and set a new bar, a new par that war games are going to have to take into consideration of whether they want to cross that boundary.
And even if you're not in a jet or a helicopter or anything, it just adds to the ambience. I mean, when you're sitting there fighting on the ground, and you see these jets just roar above your head, having a dogfight. I mean, it just adds to it.
Now, I mean,
it's gravy.
I'm not gonna really know on how good the jets fly, because I mean, just, you know, on how good the aerial combat is, just because I haven't had the privilege to play it on PC. And
still looks really nice though.
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully they'll pull it off.
What were you gonna say, Blake?
A tank is beautiful.
Yeah,
it makes it more of a child. It's not going to be like the Scorpion at all.
A lot of bad things with this. A lot of bad things that's going against this game. There's a lot of people out there, like first off, when they released the trailer of this game, people were like, "Oh, this is going to kill Call of Duty," but this is not a game that you can compare to Call of Duty. You know,
Well, speaking,
the way Battlefield has always played, it doesn't play anything like Call of Duty, and never will. What were you gonna say, Josh?
or speaking of Call of Duty, like people saying, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be a COD killer." It's not.
It's
Call
not.
of Duty number wise, Call of Duty is gonna outsell everything just because it's got that name recognition. I think the only thing that's gonna take down Call of Duty would be Call of Duty itself. It's gonna have to fall from the inside because
Yeah.
people might
Which
just get tired with the copy and paste. I mean, it's
which very much will happen because I mean it is a franchise that is diluting itself. Now
I mean taking
there are three
take
developers that are making that game now. Three different developers making three different titles. That is what's I think will drown that game down.
I mean, if you take each game separately and just pretend, okay, there's never been any other Call of Duty game, it's a fun game. It plays fun. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I have fun playing multiplayer on it. But then if you just compare it to all the other Call of Duties, it's like, oh yeah, they added some dogs, they'll come and get you or something. I
They
mean,
added
it's
an
just,
RC car. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
it's not. I mean, variety is the spice of life, my friends, and yeah,
I mean, there are cool things in the game. The perks, you can actually, you create your own style of play by using certain perks. But when it comes to actually full on raw gameplay, it's a rerun every time.
I mean, I think they're going with the don't mess with success formula. I
Yeah.
mean, it seemed money wise, it definitely seems to be working for them though. But I don't know.
What do y'all think about the realism in the Battlefield 3 so far? I mean, we
Like
got
as in like how it plays. Like I
well,
mean, if you
just
like
not how it
the
plays, and
graphics,
then just how the physics are, how
The
gravity and
physics,
everything, and gravity and your sprinting, everything, how all that plays out, just everything overall. I
I
mean,
mean, when you throw a grenade, I mean, even just the trees around it shake, and I mean, it's just so in depth. All the trees around it shake. Most of the time, if there's an airstrike or something, the trees will break, fall. I've even seen one skid across the screen, and it just looked like that's actually how it would happen.
yeah,
I think it's using the new Frostbite engine
yeah,
2.0.
that's what it's using. It's the new Frostbite engine, which
It's very beautiful, by the way.
it's yeah, it competes with the Cryware or whatever it's called, whatever that other engine is, you know?
Cry engine.
Yeah, the
Uh,
Cry engine. And in my opinion, I mean, that's one thing that Battlefield has an advantage of is it's a whole new engine that actually competes at a high level, you know. I'm not only that, I mean, I've noticed that you can get burned by the fire in the game. I don't know if y'all have noticed that, but when you
Well, that's I don't know. That's kind of been like since the dawn of gaming. Fire's
well, I
bad,
mean,
but
well, that's
it's nice that they
I
added
think
it
it's
though.
a
Yeah.
good thing though. I mean, I was getting shot by a guy that was, I thought he was in fire. I thought he was standing, I thought he was prone in a pit of fire, and I was really pissed off. I was like, how is he not getting burned? I was so angry. I was like, how is he not? And then I went over there and I was like, ah, he must have been behind the fire because for one thing, that's a good tactical move, crouching behind the fire because it lets you get
Cover.
a hard vision on the opponent, and I mean, it's just it's cool
Who
that
knows?
you can actually hide in fire. They actually made that. Also, I mean, one thing that's all
Who knows? Who knows though? Maybe he was in the fire
he
because
might have been in the fire.
the beta
Yeah.
has been kind of glitchy.
But I was like, is he in the fire? What the hell? I'm getting shot by a man in the fire. But back to
So
I have a question.
what's your question?
Okay, do you think the PC users are gonna get more out of it since they
Well,
can make their
they
system?
for sure they're going to get more out of it because on
I mean, not
PC
just with a mouse system.
it
I
is
mean,
it's 64 players online.
I
okay,
mean, since the dawn of Battlefield, it has been PC. So, I mean, I don't think they're going to screw the console market over any. I think they're going to get a really good game. But just as far as being able to, like you said, 64 players and whatnot, just graphics and the controls, I don't think was a port from console to PC. I think PC was always in mind when they were developing it.
I'm back to my next point is there's still bullet drop in Battlefield. You know, there's bullet drop. They kept that in the game, which is great because I
Oh,
mean,
you mean I can't kill somebody from halfway across the map with my pistol anymore?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Well, not only that, I mean, just sniping across the map, you want to aim a couple feet above the head sometimes. Not
Right.
feet, but at least a foot, you know. Um, uh, and this is a new. This is finally a new game coming out that has the need for tactics. There's a need for tactics in this game.
I mean it's not a tactical shooter.
It's
Don't get
not a
wrong on that.
tactical shooter, but
But
there
you
is a need for
definitely need
tactics.
tactics. Yes.
You have to play intelligently. You have to if you're gonna run, I mean, you want to run from cover to cover. You can't just
Exactly.
literally sprint around the map like you do in Call of Duty. It's you know, I'm not
I mean
being
that's
biased for this game. I'm just saying that you can do that in Call of Duty and you can't do it in Battlefield. It's just
this is how it's designed though. Now it's up to the community when they get a hold of it how it's going to play. Because if everybody's playing just run out there and shoot everybody, well, that's the game you're going to get. But if everybody's like, all right, we need to
well,
hide, it's going to be a more tactical.
people I've played on the beta when I've played, people have been. I mean, I've been sniped by seeing the kill cams on the person you've been sniped by. I've been sniped by a guy that even on the kill cam I could not see him in the bush. You know, I mean, I I mean
No good.
it's tactical. It's a tactical game in ways. You know. I mean, there's strategies involved with flanking. I mean, it's one of the, it's not just Call of Duty where we're just running around
No,
in a maze that you put mice in looking for cheese. I mean, that's what most Call of Duty maps have turned into is just a big maze, you know.
yeah.
But not only that, in the campaign, what I've seen is whenever you're sprinting, when you see the computer sprinting, they have whenever they go around corners, you see them lean with their body weight. I thought that was pretty cool. It's the first game to ever do that, you know.
Mhm.
And the little bit of realism there is with the scope whenever you go aim from side to side, the scope leans. Your iron sights lean, as if you were really turning.
Okay. I mean,
As
yeah, there's nice little touches of realism like that. It's not a super duper realistic game, I
Oh
guess,
no,
in some senses.
it's not.
If you want that, go play Operation Flashpoint or Red Orchestra
Yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
I
But
mean,
it is nice when they add natural movements
I'll
and stuff
say
like
this
that.
is
is nice.
besides Operation Flashpoint. I would say this is the closest thing to getting full-fledged warfare, you know, into a video game. You know what I mean? Because Operation Flashpoint is full-fledged warfare. I mean, you can literally the only thing they're missing is a lean cover system like there was in Rainbow Six 3. But other than that, I mean, you do not want to run around on that game at all. You want to stay prone as much as possible and stay in cover.
Take covers on that one map with the train. Just
But
walk the train.
on